that the schools are well laid out. These are not just ramshackle schools. This is a primary school, a school built as far back as 1954. And you can see that here, the polling officers don't have to worry about being in the rain at all. They extended the shootout of the schools are well laid out in such a way that the officials and the voters can stay right under the shade of the shootout of the school, with a corridor, a veranda where people can hang out even if the rain comes. So you can see that the school is well laid out, and they wouldn't have to worry about the rain, because it seems that most of the places that will be used for voting are the schools. Idia College is a school. The Ministry of Education is a newly built, a newly set up environment, very, very beautiful, where one of the candidates will be voting. And we've gone around to most of the centers. They are schools, and they are well laid out schools. We hope that, well, the rain won't be a problem as well.
All right, still going back into the issue of vote buying. Some of the persons you interacted with, are they ready to vote their conscience, or they're ready to sell their votes? And also, some of the persons you interacted with, do they have that trust for the electoral umpire, for fairness and integrity in this regard?
Well, you know, the democratic process is a process. You cannot win the lottery jackpot except you buy the ticket. If you say you do not trust the electoral process and you do not vote, then how do you affirm your trust? So as it is, first, the people are enthusiastic to vote. Right outside Ulinha Primary School, you have party agents and voters, everybody waiting anxiously. While we were at the Central Bank on Thursday, lots of people milled around the road, whether they are party officials or just individuals. They were anxious just to say it. We will be able then to, once the voting starts, once we get to the polling unit, where we have some polling units here, and people, the polling officers are still just getting things ready. But we will wait when the voting actually starts to find out whether the people believe in the process. The turnout will determine whether the people believe in the process of the election process. But the truth of the matter is, right now, we are waiting for them to arrive because polling begins at 8:30.
And we're counting down to 8:30 already. Exactly. Just to quickly re-emphasize the matter of the ad hoc staff who have refused to move without the allowances as agreed. Who have they laid these complaints to?
Well, as you can see, they are there right now. That means that that has been sorted out. We are here with our supervisor. We will be talking with him a bit later. He just wants to ensure that all the logistical issues are sorted out. The ad hoc staffs have been settled. That is where they are all setting up. That is where they have all taken position. The INEC officials supervising here immediately responded by taking care of that and sorting it out, so that they will meet the deadline to get the job started, because that is what is important. The fidelity of the process is important, and that was what he was telling us, and that he will talk with us immediately once he has sorted out this. As we talk right now, the clouds are gathering. It's dark up here in the skies, and we are worried that it might rain. The INEC rec had talked about things like this. Even while we were at the central bank as well, it was raining. We were in the rain reporting, and the ballot materials were being moved. Here today, while the people wait, while the officials wait and the people wait to vote, the clouds are already gathering here in Oredo. Let's hope that it will not also affect the turnout of the people. But then the people, as the election observers have pointed out, that this is a vote, this is an election that should reflect the resilience of the people, and the resilience of the people to elect a governor that will reflect their own true will determine what will happen here. So they have to show the resilience to pick who they want, whether it's raining, whether it's hot, whatever time it is, the people need to show the will to make their mandate count. And that's why they have to be here to vote. If they don't come to vote, then they will blame nobody for the turnout and who gets elected.
Absolutely, Solomon. We'll definitely keep tabs with you from our updates from where you are. Thank you so much. Let's come back to the studio to speak with Chelsea to respond or react to some of the things that Solomon has said. Everyone is counting on the people, the resilience of the people to turn out, whether it rains or not, because this is an election that at the end of the day, whatever the outcome is, they would have to move along with it, whether they came out or not at the end of the day. But you mentioned earlier that you had concerns that they may not turn out as much as they collected their PVCs. But then the result at the end of the day, who is to blame? And then there's also the aspect of the campaign, violence, security issues, how that is also going to make or mar this election as well.
But just what I said earlier about the number of PVCs that were collected may not reflect the voting pattern today. But where you might witness high level within the Benin, that's Edo South because of its metropolitan nature, and then the Edo, where you have two candidates of the two of the major parties, APC and PDP. Because
we are not to mention parties.
Okay, sorry, I'm so sorry. Two of the major parties actually. The reason is because since 2008, no one from Edo Central had ever sat on that seat. So they are upbeat. They are very expectant that wherever the pendulum swings, if it happens amongst the what they call the front runner parties, it may help them. Okay, so you may also find them maybe voting them may also be a bit increased. There may be within a circle because of the influence of Oshiomhole and Shaibu and all that. But within Onwa Akoko Edo, you may find that they may not be as enthusiastic as it is because of over time they've been crying out because they have been marginalized. There have been concerns about everything that is always taken to Edo North will reside in Esako, leaving the Onwa man out, leaving the Akoko Edo man. So some of these are the factors that may shape the elections within those areas. But in total, I think there might be a marked difference between this and 2020. I actually witnessed because I was almost everywhere. Though I was based in Benin then during the election. I had cause to go to Okpebholo and others. They also went as far as to Otuo, far-flung areas in the. So it might be people. There are young people who have turned 18 who want to experience it for the very first time. Part of what you have enthusiasm. And there have also been people who are who reside outside Benin City, outside Edo State, who are said, I know one or two persons who have decided to transfer their voting to Edo State and others. So those people also, they want to also have a say in what's happening. So this might be part of what you might say as the positive side of the voting. And then you also remember I mentioned about the diaspora influence. I saw people say, okay, why don't you just get this government right so that it can have depend on us less. So these are going to be like a conundrum. What is going to be forming or shaping the voting today in Edo State. But as I said, I personally will be happy and I'll be shocked if you get 60% of the voting in comparison to the 85% people who collected the PVC. Yes.
All right. Let's start with how well informed are the electorates? Okay, because many of them will say they will just vote, they still vote based on tribal lines, based on politics, based on ethnicity, based on religion. How well informed? And also, what do you think the people of Edo should be looking forward to in terms of leadership?
Okay, well, let me say this, that Edo is a very unique state in terms of those things you mentioned. Ethnicity is not a factor in Edo voting. Ethnicity, religion is not. Because in Edo State, people, all Edo, for instance, they become so united that religious consideration never play part in anything over there. Because as I said, I partly lived now till when I was growing up. I knew Moro, I knew Amedu. I'm a Christian. We help them. We celebrate Salah because it's called Salah back home. We celebrate Salah with them. They celebrate Christmas with us. I mean, some people who were carrying girlfriend, they will carry. You are a Christian, you have Muslim girlfriend. A Muslim will have Christian. So it was like that. It's blended. So the sharing formula in Edo State is to take into consideration the tripod upon which Edo stands. Okay, the Edo South, which of course the Benin speaking, and then you have the Edo Central, the Esan speaking, and then the Edo North, Afemai speaking. Of course, they also stand with the tripod. You have the Esako, Onwa, and then Akoko Edo. So when you want to talk about how nobody talked about who comes from where. You understand? That's why I said it is very unique in terms of that. No, all this regional, we have regional consideration, but not ethnic, because almost all of us are the same Edo. Apart from dialectical differences here and there, yeah. Somebody will say ese and vari, deha. That's all. You understand what I'm saying? So for the issue that you also asked about, a question about how aware they are, Edo, the electorate is very, very, very much aware. Because I can also tell you that apart from, Bini and Onwa, for instance, they have the greatest number of professors in the whole place over there. So these are people who have gone to school, widely traveled. Okay, so they understand what is at stake. So they know exactly in governance, you have a lot to gain. But if you don't put the right person there, you lose out. And I remember telling you that in those days, you had somebody of Oshiomhole, not Oshiomhole, for Okpebholo, who did a lot. Then you also had Ambrose Ali, who brought university to Okpebholo and all that. Yeah. So over time, so people know that once you put the right person there, the right person is going to attract the people around him in his cabinet and all that, and then you deliver good ones. So they're well aware of what stands against them if they don't vote right.
Now, what should they be looking forward to in terms of leadership? Yeah,
the leadership right now, my fear is because there is this issue of the pendulum being deliberately, not organically, deliberately being allowed to oscillate to Edo Central. You understand? Because that's why a lot of people are saying that one of the candidates of one of the parties say, okay, we shouldn't have even thrown his hat into the ring, because a Benin man is there now. That's Edo South is there, spending 8 years. So if by providence the other man wins, you can't hand the baton. A Benin speaking can hand the baton over to the Benin speaking. But so that's why they are saying they want to trade. Say what?
There's no written.
No, it's not written. These are conventions. They are not written, but they are conventions. Even the issue of power rotation is not also written anywhere in our constitution. If you check all the body of laws in Nigeria, whether it's the National Constitution as amended or the state's edicts and all that, you will find where it is written that power must rotate amongst the zones. It's not there.
Is it an agreement between a few?
And the agreement is party-based, but all parties appear to have taken that as a convention. Yes. So that's why you see when, in Lagos, for instance, you also have this pendulum swinging oscillate between Christian governor and Muslim governor. It's not also written. A Christian was there for 8 years. It must
supposed to be a gentleman's agreement. But that has changed.
It's changing. Why? It's okay. Let the best man take it. So don't let the field be open. Why should I be restricted because of my religion? Why should I be restricted of where I come from?
You know what democracy is about?
Democracy again, but again, in Edo, for instance, as I said, if you allow democracy to play full course, then the man from my place, Onwa, for instance, may never aspire to be governor. The highest we've ever gone is a deputy governor under Oyegu. We have Reverend Peter Obada. Then Akoko Edoma will never. ESA command may or may not. But Benin, the Benin speaking.
Popularity.
No, it's not popularity, no. Because, I said something about the metropolitan nature of Edo South. Yeah. That's where you have the Igbo traders, you have other people who are non-Edos. So the preponderance of all these people pouring into Edo State makes the Benin, that's Edo South to have more, you heard about 57.something% compared to my place 27.something, and then Edo Central 16.something. So how can you compete with somebody with 57%? Somebody having 16%. So that's why this gentleman agreement is very important, so that everybody can have a say, everybody can have a feeling that they are part of the cake. So not just when you say, okay, leave it to the plane on the playing field. Benin speaking, that's Edo South will continually be at the helms of affairs, which of course will not bode well for everybody.
All right, it is,
Yes.
all right, it is past 8:30 already, and we are counting down to the process and monitoring it. But then again, what has been brought to the fore is the integrity of INEC to be able to handle this process seamlessly, transparently, and to ensure that it is free and fair, to the extent that some parties have said that if this election is not properly conducted, they will reject the outcome. Yes. One is wondering what properly means, but from your perspective, what would be a proper conduct of this election such that the outcome is acceptable to all and it seems to be transparent, free and fair?
Well, in fairness to INEC, INEC have also done their best at units and the voting period. But usually it is when you talk about counting of votes, you're taking votes from the polling stations to the collation center, that's where the problem is, okay? I can also make a prediction here that the outcome of this election, the person or the candidate who is going to be declared winner later will not be decided by, not saying will not, may not be decided by the electorate, may also end in court, as it has always been in Nigeria, because politicians have a way of always contesting them. You know why? Because all of them think they are the rightful, or they, for instance, one party will say, has a chance, exactly.
Please just hold your thoughts. We have a correspondent, who will be speaking with us or bringing us up to speed with developments from Okpebholo Eastern South East local government area of Edo State. Ikenna, good morning. It's good to have you join us this morning and quickly bring us up to speed with the developments there. It's past 8:30. Has the process begun where you are? All right. We'll get back to Ikenna as soon as he can hear us. But back to you, Charles. You were talking about the process, ensuring it is free, fair, transparent as it is. And you were saying that all politicians believe that who throw their hat in the ring, they are the best and they deserve to win.
If I'm the best, why should the other person win? So let me context it. And again, people have contested it over time. Sometimes what they contested for becomes theirs. So they'll say, okay, yes, I know we didn't win, but let's just, because they always look for lacunas and all that. And then sometimes certain things will happen which might not mention on TV. The pendulum swings the way. So let's go try it. Whether or not it's our turn, let's go try it. So I'm begging that, I'm hoping that a time will come, I hope it comes sooner, or today, or using the Edo as an example, that politicians will accept defeat. Like when you go for football match, nobody contests. Nobody contests football. Elections. Results. If it's Arsenal versus Man U, and then Man U wins, even if it is VAR just came in.
Well, you still have not answered that question.
All right.
The process.
Okay.
How should it be?
Wait now. We need to quickly go on a break. When we return, we'll come back to talking about the matter of ensuring the process is free, fair, and credible. Stay with us.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked, and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move way in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
Sometimes it's the story that calls. At other times, the people just want to be heard.
School, I need students, but I need teachers.
Can't continue like this.
Their voices re-echoing through time itself.
We haven't done anything. If the tide is high, everybody run for safety.
Their tears leave a sweet sour taste for all their demands. A familiar call beckoning for change. In our world, No one expects a disaster to happen. But when it does, we'll be there to x-ray all sides, from the east to the west, north and south. Community Forum will examine the oddities and challenges to economic development, as well as issues yearning for government intervention. Watch fresh episodes of Community Forum on Sundays by 9:30 p.m. only on TVC News.
Business lives on the fast track of numbers. Business is a strange world where low numbers mean something different. In its currency are speed and time. Finding the open doors of Main Street is not just good business, it's the start of the business. Join us every weekend on Business Week.
Thank you for staying with us. We are still monitoring developments out of Edo State, as today is the governorship election, and we have our correspondents scattered across the state to bring us up to speed with developments there. And we still have our guests in the studio, Charles Ideho, speaking with us with regards to how events are unfolding there. Remember that INEC is supposed to begin the process at about 8:30, and we are counting down to see if INEC will keep to time. Our correspondents will also bring us update on that. Before we went on the break, Charles, you were speaking to us on how INEC can ensure the process is free, fair, credible, and that the result at the end of the day is acceptable by everyone involved.
Yes.
Right.
Exactly. As I said, over the years, whether it be in Lagos, whether it be in Benue State or no, INEC has always been seen as having done well during the process of voting. As I said, it is after you have done that, between when votes are collated from state by state, that's where a lot of people begin to see, our agents were disenfranchised, our agents were not allowed to enter to witness, our agents were, some money's chain hand and all that. So that's where it is. Well, that's why I said I was hoping that we both agree that it should start from Edo, that politicians should learn to accept defeat when they know they have been roundly defeated.
The spirit of sportsmanship.
Yes, exactly.
Right. We'll continue from there, but we need to quickly put you on hold. So we cross over to our correspondent Ikenna Mechi, who is at Ward 1, Unit 3, Ewohime South East Local Government Area of Edo State. Ikenna, quickly bring us up to speed with this process. Has INEC begun in earnest, because the process is supposed to begin at about 8:30?
Good morning, Veronica. We are right here at the Skills Acquisition Center in Adas Unit 3 of Ward 1 in Ewohime. That's in Esan, Southeast, where one of the candidates of a leading political party will be coming to exercise his franchise. And I will tell you that it's about 8:46 a.m. this morning, and there's no sight of any INEC officials. We only can see at this point that I am, and of course, everywhere in this village, and of course it's a rural community, and the people, some of them are not even yet to come to the polling units. And the local government headquarters is at Ubiaja, about 30 minutes away from here. Perhaps that's where the INEC staff are, and will be coming from there. But it's quite unfortunate that by 8:46 there's no presence of any INEC staff, and the people are not even here to actually exercise their franchise. You just have a few people, security operatives, all around the city and in polling units, waiting for the INEC officials to come so that the process will begin in earnest. And we are hoping that the leading candidate as well will come out to exercise his franchise. But for now, it's a rainy morning in Esan here in Ewohime. It's a very rainy morning. The rain has started to subside now. They said it has not rained for some time here, but unfortunately or fortunately, maybe it's a blessing that this morning it started raining and it's subsiding a little bit. Probably that will actually encourage people to come out. But for the INEC officials, we are yet to see any of them in a Wohibi, and we are hoping that they will come. And if there is, we've not gotten any update of whether they have a logistics problem of moving down here. We are hoping that they will come and the process will start in earnest as the people are eagerly waiting. Like as I reported yesterday, the people in Asan are eager to actually come up and cast their votes for the candidate of their choice. So we are hoping that the INEC officials will come and begin the process in earnest. But for security situation here, everywhere is calm, just as the rain is cooling the atmosphere here. Everywhere is just as cool as that. No incidents, no issue.
All right. They're bringing us up to speed with regards to developments where he is.
People come out to exercise their franchise, and hopefully the INEC officials will show up to begin the process.
Absolutely.
Veronica.
Absolutely. We can only hope as the rains are pouring down already. And you have also told us that security situation there is calm. We wanted to know also the presence of security operators.
Yeah, the presence of security operators. Maybe the rain could be the reason people haven't turned out. Yeah. But I would also want you to, if you can, maybe take your microphone to some of the persons there, maybe have a chat with them, and what are their hopes, what are their expectations, while waiting for INEC officials to come. Maybe if that's possible. Are you still there? Okay.
All right.
Yes, I'm here. I actually can hear you faintly.
Okay, so I said something earlier. I said that maybe the rains could be the reason people have not actually come out. But I would love for you to, maybe if you can show us some of the persons there, have a chat with them so that we can hear.
I can faintly hear what you're saying.
Okay, so if you can hear me, he is saying that if you could just speak with the persons already present at the polling units to know what their expectations are of the process and at the end of the day, the results.
All right, we have some locals here, of course, waiting to vote, and journalists actually flooded here because of, we know, like as I told you, this is the polling unit of a leading candidate in this election, and definitely you know that journalists will be here to wait for when he will exercise his franchise. And for the people, like as I said yesterday, they are willing to actually exercise their franchise, and I will be talking to some of them and hoping that, and they are eager, but as I said earlier, the INEC officials, no one on site here in Ewohime, Ward 1, and of course elsewhere, we have not seen any INEC officials yet, and at this time, just a few minutes before 9 a.m., no INEC officials. So I will be speaking with one of the electorate who is here to actually exercise his franchise, and let's see what he has to say about the process, and of course why the Independent Electoral Commission officials are yet to actually show up to begin the process of voting and accreditation and voting, and of course the other process that follows.
Maybe while we wait for him to have a conversation.
Let's come back to the studio while we wait for him. He's at Ewohime Esan local government there.
Actually, ASAN.
But talk to us, the enthusiasm and resilience shown by the people. How it is that despite the rain, some of them have already turned out to want to cast their ballot as it is. But what do you know about those people, especially exercising their
You know, I told you earlier that the pendulum of leadership was deliberately, allowed to swing the ASAN way.
Okay, we hear that Ikenna is back with his guest. Go ahead, Ikenna.
Okay.
Electorate here that is here to actually exercise his franchise, but he is still waiting for the INEC officials to start. So that you have been here since when, and what do you have to say about the fact that INEC officials, they are nowhere to be found here?
The thing beat my imagination. First of all, my name is Arenke Daniel. So we have been here since over 2 hours. I came here 5 minutes after 7. So most of us, we are here. So waiting. Although first of all it was raining. But I think the rain is okay now. We are waiting for INEC official.
Okay. Have you spoken to some of your leaders in this local government on why the delay in the INEC officials arriving at this polling unit and other polling units in Ewohima?
Well, we have talked to them, but the word they told us is that they are on their way. That's what they said.
All right, but from what you observed, are people actually eager to come out? This is a farming community. One person I spoke to earlier said he wants to go to farm and before you come to vote. Are people eager to come out and exercise their franchise here?
Very well. Everybody is coming out to exercise our vote because it's our son, it's our father. Everybody is coming out to vote. Nobody is indoors, staying outside and all that. Nobody is even going to farm. So any person that told you that he's going to farm, that is messing after death. So we are here, we are waiting. We are just waiting for INEC officials. So, thank you.
All right, that's one of the eager voter waiting for INEC officials to actually exercise his franchise. And for what he said, they are waiting. The INEC officials are on their way, and we are hoping, we journalists and others that are here are waiting and hoping that it will come on time so that the process will begin in earnest. And of course, the leading candidates, one of the leading candidates here will also want to know why the INEC officials are not here to actually begin the process. Veronica, that's the situation here at Ewohimi in Esan South-East local government area of Edo State.
Right.
As we count down to,
I am concerned with how conducive the location is
Veronica.
now that we see the rains pouring down for the electorate. How conducive is the location for the electorates to cast their vote even as it is raining?
Well, the place is not too far from the town, and of course, the rain probably has actually subsided, and people will definitely not be saying because of the rain they are not coming out. But for sure, the INEC officials, if they are here, definitely people will be out here to actually exercise their franchise. I think the delay here is actually because of the INEC officials not on ground. And the people are not willing, they are not yet, not a lot of them are here at the moment, but one of the things that will actually make them to come is the fact that if they sight the INEC officials, definitely they will come out from their houses and exercise their franchise. Veronica.
All right, thank you, Ikenna Michi, for bringing us up to speed. And news just reaching us say at about 8:53 a.m. voting began in Governor Godwin Obaseki's polling unit in Okpebholo 1 Emokpai Primary School. That's Unit 19, Ward 4, Oredo local government area. So INEC has begun, the process has begun in some areas. And as we can see, those are the pictures there on your screen of persons, of electorates on the queue looking to exercise their franchise. And the rains, define the rains. We do not know if the rains poured across every part of the state, but whatever the situation is, they have come out, and INEC has begun in earnest at that Unit 19, Ward 4, Oredo local government area. And we are hoping that in other areas, INEC will also begin in earnest so that the process can end as at when due, and every of the other line of processes, collation and all of it,
will work well,
seamlessly as it is. And then the challenge perhaps might just be that of they get into the location, as some have said. But the road network too.
But the road network is very good.
It's good. So one can only wonder what the delay is really about.
Yes, you know, I talked about politicians looking for lacunas to ensure they get hold of things to complain about. This is part of what the politicians may use, or that they deliberately, delayed voting in some places and all that. And politicians, they're always very clever. They are very smart. They always want to look for what the spanners to throw in the works and all that. For instance, the Wohimi, where Ikena spoke to us from Wohimi to Biaja, the road is quite good. Within the road network is quite good. It's only that road I told you about, Benin Riceable. So I wouldn't know what might cause the delay of materials from Ubiaja, the headquarters to Uomi, which is just a stone's throw in the manner of speaking. So I really wouldn't know why we'll be talking about delay in arrival of materials in other places when people are already eager. You can see the young man who told you, so nobody's going to the farm today, because they are upbeat about they want to cast their ballots and all that. So Onyo also told you that this is the very first time you have 2 of the 18 political parties having their tickets zoned to that area. So, and of course, by default, you know that they will be very, very enthusiastic about, say, okay, one of our sons has to be there. If you don't understand. So, but INEC should not mar this, particularly this Wohimi area where, as according to Ikena, one of the candidates comes from Ahmed. So I think they have every cause to ensure that such things are not brought to the fore as maybe a complaint bait to say, oh, you obviously deliberately didn't want the matter to get it because of.
So how should INEC address this matter?
Well,
transparency.
Yes, transparency is very, very important. Yeah. Well, INEC, I think they have their information unit. They should perhaps call their people on ground in Ubiaja to explain why and quickly come up with a statement to preempt whatever any of the political party may say as having this as an excuse that they just want the attempt to disenfranchise their people over there. People can. You saw what somebody said. He's been there since 7:30 or so. That's quite early enough. I mean, the question is how long will his patience level go? So if you are there, if you be there since 7 or 7:30, then this is 9 o'clock. INEC officials have not shown up. So his patience level, will it continue? Is it elastic?
Yeah.
So those are the things we have to be concerned about. So I think INEC has to do a lot of repairing to do in the manner of speaking.
All right, still talking about INEC.
Yes.
Earlier when Veronica asked you about the process, transparency. Now for transparency, do you think the result viewing portal will be used this time for transparency?
Well, INEC they've also deployed some of these electronic issues about BVAS. BVAS, as what we're told, is going to help to curtail all manner of cheating and all that. So INEC on their own, as I said, in fairness to them, they've done it may not be the best in terms of rating them, but to the best of their knowledge, they've been able to put all those things in place, deploying things that would ensure that all these irregularities will be curtailed, if not totally eradicated. So if all the reports we have got in the news about INEC preparedness, about the high level of things, if there are anything to go by, then we might be able to see a cleaner process leading to the emergence of whoever will become the electorate's choice today. But as I said, it doesn't always end there. Even if the processes are seen to be very transparent and credible, politicians will always contest it because they feel that something may just swing their way.
Okay. All right, let's also look at manipulation.
Yes.
At the polls.
Yes.
Okay, money politics.
Yes.
Do you think it's going to be, it's going to play out in this regard? Talk about vote buying, vote selling. Should EFCC, now that I heard that EFCC...
Yes, it's everywhere.
Do you think they should start arresting some persons who... Sometimes I ask that question, who gives the money and who collects? Who is the most guilty, or are they both guilty, or what are your thoughts?
Well, vote buying has a macro level and a micro level.
Oh, tell me.
Yes, of course. I mean, I told you I've been part of the process for a long time. You have vote buying that is on the macro level and vote buying on the micro level. Macro level has to do when politicians try to use money to induce people who are being charged with responsibility of amassing results. Then the micro level is where you put money in a loaf of bread, or you give someone a cara to say, take this and all. That's the micro. And that one is being addressed. So it's the macro. That's where you have the challenge, because of somebody somewhere, large amount of money is given to this person, which person can resist. And if you see them...
You think EFCC will be up to task?
Well, I hope EFCC is able to do that, because these people they are smart, and then they have their network everywhere.
Okay. Yes, we need to quickly go on a break. When we return, we'll continue our conversation right here in the studio. Stay with us.
Every major news story is with many perspectives and layered with different levels of impact.
Hello. What time did this happen? We will be right there.
At TVC News, we follow the big and major news, gathering the facts, witnessing the outcome.
I am here live at the aftermath of the approval of the new national minimum wage.
We are TV Station of the Year, not just for breaking news, but for being first, fair and accurate. TVC News, first with breaking news.
Every second, every minute, every hour and every day, time doesn't just tick away. It counts down to political decisions that shape our world.
This country must move.
Imagine the impact these decisions have on our lives. Some are consequential, others may leave us intrigued or baffled.
You will have no better friend and partner than Nigeria.
Step in and feel the frenzy like never before. Join me every weekday for an hour of fact-finding interviews where questions cut to the core.
How would you say your administration has fared in these sectors?
I will dig in to get to the heart of issues, from local politics to global insight. Join me as I unearth the power plays, jaw-dropping revelations and the unfiltered truth. This isn't just politics, it's unraveling the stories that matter. Brace yourself for Politics Tonight every weekday at 8 p.m, where every decision echoes along the corridors of our lives. Politics Tonight, only on TVC News.
I'm Miriam Lunge. I'm a passionate environment advocate and a published author.
I am the founder of Celebration, a businesswoman, and a fashion icon.
I am a wealth coach and a real estate developer.
I am Amako Arakwe. I'm a corporate commercial lawyer and an entrepreneur.
Welcome to Warhaka. I am Ramatu Shehu Oyibo, an entrepreneur and a business coach.
I am the voice of an average Muslim woman, an hijabite, and a lawyer.
I am a polymath.
and a serial entrepreneur.
Hi, this is Dr. Abiola Salami, the world-class performance strategist, author of the best-selling book, The Magic of Emotional Intelligence, and the publisher of the Peak Performer Africa. I'm inviting all young emerging leaders, women in leadership, and C-level executives to the Peak Performer Festival 2024. The theme is Driving a Culture of Peak Performance in Africa, Leveraging the Magic of Emotional Intelligence. Date is 2nd to 4th of October 2024. We will be learning from top-tier experts from multiple industries across the globe. We have designed the Peak Performer Festival 2024 to deliver excellent return on investment for sponsors and organizations that want to leverage the event to engage customers and power up their staff for peak performance as follows. 1. The Emerging Leaders Summit, where we will equip young emerging leaders with emotional intelligence skills that will fast-track their career and enterprise growth. 2. The Women in Leadership Summit, where we will equip women with emotional intelligence skills that will position them to deliver excellence everywhere they lead. 3. The C-Suite Networking Breakfast, where we will equip leaders at the very top of the organization with emotional intelligence skills that will enable them drive sustainable growth for their organization. And finally, the Peak Performer Awards, where we will recognize legacy founders and peak performing organizations in both the public and private sector. Affordable sponsorship and corporate registration packages are available. You can reach out to us on team@tppafrica.com or call us on 090-91234-567, or you can visit www.tppafrica.com for more information. The Peak Performer Festival is an initiative of Champ Global Leadership Consultancy, a world-class organization driving a culture of peak performance. Till the next time, keep rocking your world like a champion.
Thank you for staying with us. It's still our ongoing comprehensive coverage of the Edo governorship election, where we have our correspondents scattered across the state to bring us up to speed with developments there. And as we told you earlier, some polling units have begun the process of putting together the electorate. INEC has come with materials, and others are still waiting for INEC to show up where they are, and some are said to have had their materials, election materials, arriving late for the polling units across Esako West Local Government area. As at 8:55, ad hoc staff are still setting up voters list around the polling booth, and there are pictures where polling unit 1 and 17 Ward 10 in Esako West Local Government is said that voting started at polling unit 1 at Oshiomhole Primary School, Ward 10, Uzaire Northeast, at about 9 a.m. Polling voting has begun in some of those areas. And just to give you a background, it is said that INEC said that about 2,629,029 voters registered, and there are 192 electoral wards, 4,519 polling units, 18 candidates are on the ballots. For PVCs collected, about 2,249,780 PVCs have been collected, and that's about 85.57%. And 379,245 PVCs uncollected. Now, the big defining issues for this election, the matters of zoning and power sharing, the matter of INEC's integrity and competence, the resilience of the people are also being tested. We hear that there are downpours of rain in some of the location, and we have seen the electorate turn out despite the rains pouring down there. And the matter of pre- and post-election litigation is what some observers are already watching out for. A clash of political heavyweights, not competition of ideas and issues, as what observers are saying. And the matter of strong-arm tactics and violence. Charles, these are the issues that are set to define the outcome of this election at the end of the day. We have begun to talk about the test of integrity of INEC to ensure that this process is transparent, free, fair, credible. Yes. And we looked at a particular polling unit where materials have not begun, where one of the candidates is said to be casting his ballot in the process later today. And you said that INEC should ensure that this lapses are not, in the process, so that politicians will not capitalize on that at the end of the day. Another question that is being asked is, will INEC maintain consistency in applying the rule of suspending election where there is substantial disruption and all of it?
Yes. Well, that's also part of the whole thing. Again, there has been also where election will take place. They said either the card reader is more functioning and all that. Again, you now find incident forms. An incident form is a matter of discretion of the electoral officer. And you also find politicians also saying that shouldn't be, that they prepare for this thing for the past 4 years. So why should any card reader not work at all? People will say, okay, you brought the card reader of a particular, not to walk to a particular place, knowing that voting there. So there are all manner of theatrics that you find amongst politicians. So that's why INEC should be all beat every time.
And since it's an off-cycle election, there are those who say
this is not the whole play.
Yes, so INEC should pay attention and ensure that there are no issues.
18 local government out of 774. It's not involved to 0.1%. So INEC has no excuse. And the last election of the cycle election of Edo State was in 2020. Yeah. All right? So that's 4 years down the line. So very soon you have Ondo. But so are you saying that within the 4 years, the irregularities you witnessed in 2020, you have not been able to fix them within 4 years down there? 4 years is about 12 months in 4 places. That's about 48 months. So there's no way INEC can give us any excuse about cards not working properly, about materials not getting to their polling station or polling booths in time, as we witnessed in Wohimi, where one of the candidates is going to be casting their vote. So some of these things, if you talk about integrity, these are the areas INEC must work on. See, if you want somebody to trust you, you must earn the trust, right? And earning the trust ensure that all these things that are going to be, people will look for as lacunas to want to say, okay, you didn't do well, then you put them in place. Because we didn't just know that a dual election was going to be this year. We've known, even as soon as the winner was declared in 2020, we knew that the race for the next election for the 4 years will begin.
True.
So INEC has no cause not to do what is right. And it can also, because I think all these off-cycle elections started in Anambra State.
Yes.
Then Edo State, Ondo State, and so on and so on. So I think INEC has a lot to do to get it right, so that when it gets to the 10 of Ondo State, they will have this assurance that, okay, if Edo election could go right, then they have nothing to fear in Ondo State. So on and other states that are...
In fact, there are those who would say that it should have borrowed a leaf from the 2023 election and all of the controversies that was said to have been around the process.
Yes.
To build on that and ensure that they have a seamless process.
Well, again, I see. I think it's a problem when you give government agencies certain to do. I don't know if you have noticed that government agencies their website usually don't work as well as the corporate bodies. I don't know whether it's deliberate. I don't know. You want to do online registration. Government www.something.gov.ng will not work well. But .com of the corporate body will work well. So I don't know what is happening. So that's what I'm saying. And INEC, whatever funding that agency requires, have always been given to them. They're not starved of funds.
Absolutely.
Okay. And then even if they have a shortage of manpower, they always go to hire ad hoc hands who are given adequate training to ensure this is what the do's and the don'ts of the game. So I wouldn't know why you still have to, over time, since 1999 we've been witnessing some of these things. This is about how many years down the line we are still talking about INEC not getting things.
But really,
when are we going to get?
I wouldn't want us to cast all aspersions on.
No. We're only telling them to do what is right.
If you
to improve on the
exactly, if you also look at
the
hike in petrol price and all of it, logistics, transportation, you know, I think
they should have factored all of that in their budget.
Well, the petrol price didn't. We've been following the gradual increase from since last year. So, but INEC should have understood that.
I'm just trying to make an excuse.
Okay, this is what happens when you know that there's a hike in prices. What you need to do, what you are going to be voting for, maybe about 19 naira per liter. Why don't you just make provision for about 110? So that even if it rises to 100. You still have allowance. That's what I'm saying. But you don't wait until the problems come before you begin. You see, we're always reacting. You need to be proactive. So it is the proactiveness that usually makes things work. It's not when it's happening. You are now expecting people to say, oh, Shebi, we are all in this country. Are you blind? Don't you know there's fuel scarcity? It's not an excuse.
Right.
Oh, okay, you know that electricity, wahala. It's not an excuse. Oh, sometimes when you get to some of this countryside, you know, the internet there is not as, whether it's 1G or 2Gs. It's not an excuse. You understand? So if you know that there are people who are always complaining and protesting your what you put in place, you should be ahead of them. That's what I'm talking. That's what I'm insisting on. Yes. INEC should be ahead of the politician. So the politician will not have any lacuna, any window, any slightly open window they will want to use as a complaint, how do I say now, complaint point to say, okay, you have cheated me. You understand? So I hope that by time Ikena gets back to us, we will hear that INEC officials are there in the way. I know why I'm saying so. Because one of the candidates from there.
Right.
It's from there. Well, they not even started casting the vote when there be issues about attempt to disenfranchise and all that. You know what it means that if INEC officials do not arrive Wohimi by 10 o'clock, you know what's going to happen? People, they say, okay.
And they will be forced to extend the time.
Exactly. They will now go and extend the time. When you extend the time, people have been tired. Have you not heard before? In 2020, I witnessed that in Benin, where people arrived very early. The materials did not get to them. By the time they get people, half of the electricity have gone home. They were tired. They've gone home. So, which of course impacted negatively on the results of that were declared in that particular area. You understand? So
and if things don't go well, you know, two of the candidates are lawyers. It could be some legal fireworks here and there.
That's what we should eliminate from our body politic.
Whereby the courts will have to decide and the people are discounted.
The court is not part of the process. It shouldn't be part of the process. Now there is a process. People will be enrolled. They collect their PVCs. Okay. And then they go there, they check whether their names have been captured days or weeks before the election. Once the election gets there, people go there, they are accredited, they vote, and they vote their choices. So it is what takes place when the thumbprint that should count. But at the end of the day, after you've done that, they'll say go to court. They say go to court. So the court has now usurped the power of the electorate to choose who governs them. So that's why you see that most of these governors are not popularly elected because it's the court, in a manner of speaking, that impose these leaders on, these victors on them. It shouldn't be. Right. So if, for instance, they want to say, okay, everybody has voted, this is the one we'll go, okay, court said no, you now bring somebody else. Then how do you think people are going to be happy?
All right, quickly before.
I wouldn't want to use the word imposed.
That's what it seemed to me.
Right. Okay. Let's quickly. There is a news update here that I'd like to quickly take. The Nigeria Police Force says it has made a significant breakthrough in its effort to curb electoral violence in Edo State with the arrest of two political thugs, namely Edwin Obano, 43-year-old, and Audu Tajuddin, a 41-year-old. Acting on a tip-off that some individuals had been armed to cause mayhem and disability during the election, the police operatives swooped into action and apprehended Obano, a leader of an armed group at Oredu Ward 4, at about 9 p.m. and Audu Tajuddin at Igara Akoko Edo on the eve of the election. Upon searching the bags in their possession, 3 cut-to-size locally fabricated pistols were discovered on Obano, while 1 locally made gun was recovered from Tajuddin. The police and other supporting security agencies say they will not tolerate any form of violence or disorderliness during the election in Edo State. The suspects are currently in custody and will feel the full weight of the law. Talk about walking the talk.
True.
The police, through the force, PRO Olumiyiwa Adejobi had talked about intelligence report gathering. Earlier on, we had that information, and I think he spoke with us yesterday where he talked about it. And now we are seeing results from the matters of intelligence gathering and ensuring that this process is safe for the people and they can, have confidence in the police to ensure that they are secured as they go out to cast their ballot. But let's get your reaction to this.
Well, Obano, I don't know who, what you tend to get from that, by accepting. I don't know. Most of these boys are armed by some politicians who want to have.
We call them political thugs.
Political talks of politicians.
Yeah, that's what I'm just emphasizing.
Yes, when somebody says political talk, he operates within the political plane. And political plane is controlled by politicians. You understand? So you find that these are full soldiers of people who, if they don't prepare well, they know they are not popular, but they want to get it at all costs. So they bring in acts of violence into the election, which of course should not be allowed in anywhere within the shores of Nigeria at all. But again, I think over time this is dwindling. But again, you can't totally take it out of the way for now. You see that when we started in 1990, now the incidences of thuggery and all that is begin to wane. Exactly. So, but
ballot box
so again, the over-militarization of the election. This is one could applaud them. If you didn't militarize now, these boys could have their way. Who knows what they could have done with these pistols? But
really, is this a sign?
Yes.
Or like a morale boost for the people to now see that, the police have started apprehending.
We're on the same page.
Exactly.
So if they hadn't been there, then only God knows what these boys would have done with the guns, who would have dropped dead by now. But thankfully, that's what we're talking about, proactiveness. The agencies were proactive. Policemen or security agencies that were deployed to all this were also proactive. You understand? Not to wait for things to happen. If they had allowed this to happen before police now move in, usually preventing anything is usually better and cheaper than curative. When you want to cure.
Talking about preventing,
yes.
Do you think we have tougher laws for election violence? Basically, do you think we have enough laws?
Well, it's not about law. We have
tougher punishments.
Nigeria has more than enough laws in a body of laws. It is the enforcement of these laws that is the problem. You understand? Now, a part of it is that there is a law. There's a law against violence in election, which of course police have been charged responsible of ensuring that they arrest that situation. Which of course you just saw from what we had now exactly. So it's not the absence of law. It is the absence of the political will to always enforce this law. That's the problem.
INEC is calling for an election offences commission. Okay, but if we have tougher laws, I
we do.
It will reduce.
What's your grounds with INEC?
We have too many commissions. Too many commissions in this country. We have the regular courts that can handle some of this. All we need to do is for the police to be upbeat about their investigation. Once you lose the steam at the investigation stage, you have lost prosecution. Once you lose that prosecution, then there's a problem with whatever the court is going to do, because the court cannot manufacture evidences at all. It is the evidence before the courts they say that the court will adjudicate upon. So what I'm saying is that the regular courts can't handle. They can indeed handle these cases. If you multiply some of these things, then you are making a mess of it. You have a commission for this, you have commission for this, you have commission for this, you have tribunal for election. So we have too many of them. That's why I said let's just see how we can make do with our regular courts to do some of this instead of calling for the setting up of a commission again when the courts can handle some of these things.
Let's even take you back a bit. Before this day, the election, there has been concerns about tension because of campaign violence and all of those conversations leading up to how secure the process would be for the electorate. Yes. How do we begin to perhaps draw the attention of political parties and politicians to ensuring that this matter is not a do-or-die affair?
Well, the outgoing governor of Edo State said, I watched him, this is not a matter of, I watched him and I'm quoting him verbatim, that he said he does not, okay, he doesn't regret saying that the election in Edo State is not a do or die. He said so, he said, so such things, such inflammatory statements are what we should ask the politician to stop. Because it is when this, okay, do it with the everyday people, they see what their leaders are saying, they tend to queue behind them. But if the leaders are preaching peace, the people behind them will also toe the line of peace. But once you have your leader that you defer to, somebody it's like a be-all and end-all, somebody that is like a role model for you, is speaking, not only speaking daggers, attempting to use daggers. What do you think will happen to those who are his foot soldiers? They'll say, okay, they'll take a cue from that. So politicians will know that speaking daggers will not help the situation. You might think we're just saying it, but it's inflammatory. And there's a way it will ginger some of these boys or girls who are their followers to say, okay, yes, since our boss or the person we look up to has said so, let's go there and spoil it. You understand? So politicians towards elections and even during off-season elections must know how to speak. That's why in most cases, people who are gifted, people who are trained to speak, that's why, is that not why they hire spokespersons?
Now, who should hold those politicians to account?
Before we get there, let me just quickly bring us up to speed with stories coming out of the election. Images from Polit Unit 001, Iyamo Primary School, Ward 10, Uzare Esako West local government, where voting is ongoing. These are the pictures there. We also hear that EFCC officials are also on patrol to ensure that voter inducement is not going on there. I recall that Wenga was emphasizing on this matter of voter inducement, which some have become a part of our process as it is, and only wonder how we can eliminate it. But the FCC officials are on the ground to ensure that that does not happen. We saw results that we got during the 2023 election. Some persons were found with stash of cash, and all. We're hoping that that is not the case this time around. But go ahead with.
So you were talking about the issue of the rhetorics from politicians, but we had a former president in this country who said that the blood, my mandate is not about the blood of any Nigerian, or no, it's not worth the blood of any Nigerian. And we also had someone who said, you do or that. Why are they not tilting towards the line of my mandate is not worth the blood of any Nigerian, and then go into violence? And also, who should hold these politicians to?
Okay, your first question.
The things they say.
To your first question, there are two questions in one. The first question, my answer is, I will give you a monosyllabic answer, but again, to also attempt to enlarge it. The answer is desperation, all right?
Desperation?
Yes. So when people are desperate, they are capable of doing anything. Now, one person is saying it is do or die. It means that he wants to retain that seat, okay? Whatever you do, we must ensure that you don't take this power out of our hands. That's desperation. But if you have done well in governance, if you have done well in delivering the deliverables, you don't have to fear. You understand? Because somebody who is okay, let me make an analogy about a student who has studied well.
That's the EFCC. Just sorry to cut into your line of thought. That's the EFCC present there.
If I digress, if I may, this is not an EFCC thing. All we need to do is to educate the electorate that, look, that voting you are selling is your destiny.
Education has not been enough, obviously.
But we just mouth it. We mouth it. Hey, don't sell your vote. It's not enough. We just don't say when somebody is hungry. So that's why I said when you are telling people don't do this, what have you done? If you provide good governance.
How about some political parties even add it to their campaigns? They collect it.
But vote your. But that's also wrong.
You're still guilty.
Now, what I'm saying first is that, okay, as I'm here now, I'm gainfully engaged, right? I don't see how much politician is going to give to me that might change my mind. But I'm not. There are some people who are not so well endowed as I am in terms of financial
their pockets
issues.
are not as
pocket. Well, not as big as you. So they are the everyday people who are artisans. They rely on daily takings.
Income.
Okay. So those people today, you have declared curfew in Edo State for about 12 hours. So these are people who rely on when they go out, they make money, they bring to them. They may have 6 children. So today they are going to be boxed in. Such a person, you wave banknotes in his face, you think he will not accept? That's what I'm saying. If the economy is beneficial to some of these people, they know that something is coming to them, whether daily or so. They will not have. You can tell the person don't accept, and they will not accept, knowing that he already has a source of survival, a source of livelihood.
Don't you think it's a morality issue as against a stomach infrastructure matter?
Morality has no place, or has no strength where there's hunger. You understand?
Poverty has been weaponized.
Poverty. If you weaponize poverty, see, you can, if you like, you moralize everything. When somebody is hungry, you understand, you will just say, this one you're saying. And he's staring at the money.
And he knows
that people are back at home who don't even know when the next meal will come. Then you are talking about morality. Even when you indeed say you want to let morality take a hold of you, I don't take it. When you get back and say, oh, Mumu, you know, maybe it's a husband and your wife will be saying, go out and bring. You say, oh, can you imagine? And you saw this thing. What kind of husband are you? You know? So it reduces your level, even your husbandry level. It's reduced.
So it's a system. It is something that has eaten deep into the fabric of our society.
Because of the weaponization of poverty. As I said, a poor person has no many choices. Doesn't have many choices. The choice is survival. Okay? How do I survive? And you have children, I mean, schools just resume now, and then fees are going to be, we are going to be asked to be paid, to be paying the fees and all that.
Have even increased.
And then it has increased. So, and then in that, and your personal economy has not increased, your personal takings have not increased. So how do you weigh? It's a very delicate balancing.
Well, that's the video of Esako West local government area where voting has begun.
Yes.
Those are the live pictures. We can see an elderly woman trying to cast her ballot there. I want to believe that some privileges will be given to the elderly, persons with disabilities, women, pregnant women, and the likes.
Yes.
We want to see that happening because INEC over the years has said they make preparation for these kinds of persons, especially persons with disabilities.
I agree, and this, which is good.
The elderly, pregnant women, and all of it. We see a number of men and women there. We see that the numbers of men are actually more than the women, but we cannot get a full picture view right now of the demographics of persons there, but obviously there seem to be a well representation of both.
But I'm shocked. Before now, you have already had more women than men. So I think the thing is changing. You now have more men being aware. Because women, because it's easy to sway women. I mean, back in those areas. So I mean, the elections have covered.
Is it awareness that's changing the minds of women from
all women are becoming apathetic. Maybe because my place, person say the vote I voted for, what did he give me? And women are the ones who are going to the markets and all that. So okay, the marketplace, you are going there, they are taking revenues from you, are taking all these things from you, and people are tearing tickets for you and all that. So what's the difference?
Right.
But I'm actually shocked that you're having more men in this election than more women. Because even the election I covered in 2020, you had more women in most of the polling booths that we went through and so. So I think, I don't know what may be the immediate cause of this thing.
Right.
Yes. You understand?
And a cause for concern?
Not quite. If the men also vote, the men are the leaders in our homes. You understand? But the men should also be able, if they are enthusiastic, they should be able to also galvanize their households to also be part of the process. Because good governance, bad governance affect the family, not one person. No, it doesn't. If the governance is good, it doesn't affect only the men.
It affects
everybody. Yes,
absolutely.
Yes, exactly.
Absolutely.
That's it.
Interesting perspective there. But let's get back to the issue we were talking about.
Yeah, so let's go back to it. So who should hold?
Okay. You were asking that question. Second leg.
Account, looking at the kind of rhetorics they say, because the kind of rhetoric that was flying around the build-up to the election, it was really, really tense, and someone wanted to say toxic. Are we getting better when it comes to, is it good for our democracy?
Issue-based politics, or we are still towing the path of having all of these rhetorics that do not address the issues?
Or would
What would you like to see, you know,
Okay, Mukeni, the governor, no give a lower Moki Rice.
Ono Rice, he came no you are being Ulega Yabakba, Ono Park Betty Worry, not the governor, no Relo. He came no Rice in Nagbe. I can go see, Logan the Beno no party or any governor, no Relo, no Yona, my Nietzsche.
Mama, why Murar and I need Guerre to train near vote? Why Murar and Nala?
I better go Yakura about you. Adi onache olemi ma egbe mamdi alunia oge na do make back e mo gbe nume abima onara about nana oge na du balo le aguna de me e majoli analo do akolo ogbo oge no kala ma oge no radio yo no gbe abada Oshiomhole oke agbe na ri ogo le egbe oge na do lu yo gbe
mama.
Okay, we hear that is Adams Oshiomhole's mother who just cast her ballot and she's expressing her views about that. So, Chas, thank you.
Okay, well, the Esako, I understand Esako a bit and know that, you know, so they also have dialects, okay? Yes. I understand more of Wando than this Ozarwe. But because there are West, so she talked about there's hunger in the land, there's poverty in the land, that she is hoping, that's organized God, hoping that God will allow this to go free and fair so that we'll have a leader that we take this suffering out of our way. Yes, that's exactly what she said.
Well, interesting.
Yes, okay.
We were saying something talking about the issue of who hold them to account and the way our election, the way the build-up to the election, the way it went, you know, the tensed atmosphere, and also the way people vote. Will you vote for, oh, this person danced for, let me vote for. You know,
well, people always have reasons. People always have reasons to queue behind a leader.
Someone.
Yeah, it could be that he speaks good English. It could be that he dresses well. So there are multiple reasons why people usually queue behind leaders. Okay, it may not necessarily be that he's going to give you good governance, because people, most time, once they benefit from him directly,
I say it may not necessarily be issue-based.
Okay, the issue-based, and again, now the reason is this. For about 2 years, I was a spokesperson of a party, political party in Edo State. Okay. I was the Edo State public secretary of a certain party. So I follow politicians. I understand their thinking. I understand the philosophy behind their decisions. Because for 2-3 years, I was so it gave me the. I was able to have the privilege to move around politicians, attend meetings, national meetings, and all that. Now, in most cases, what politicians do is this: if they think the issues, they don't have issues to give you, they throw in personal matters, and then that will dominate the media and draw attention to them, even if it is negative. That's the way they play it. You understand? So sometimes they want to be in the minds of people. They want their name to resonate every time. So they throw in
deliberate.
No, it's deliberate. They throw in anything that will draw attention to themselves and then give them popularity.
But then the people, the electorate, is supposed to have a way to force them, to bring them back to the
electorate
that affect
the electorate will now be divided. Some will be hailing that politician to say, oh, when so person says such thing, what did you do? Leave this man. Leave this woman. But you see, the question about who does the arrest and all that, it is, when you come to Nigeria, you see that you have powerful personalities and weak institutions. If you strengthen the institutions where nobody is above the law, where it doesn't seem that you have different laws being applied in a particular situation, this won't happen. When the governor makes his statement and he knows that he can be taken in for it, okay? Or because immunity covers him, you keep that in abeyance, pending when he will leave government, and then you arrest him and prosecute for that. They will find reason to say things that are proper. But when they know that in most cases that they are appear to be bigger than the operative. Have you not witnessed, Veronica? So a politician is saying something, they want to arrest him. The security agents guarding him, they are saying no. It won't happen in crimes where you have very strong institutions and weak personalities.
Other clients.
Yes.
It now brings to the question, how informed are the electorates? Because when you say, oh, I'm going to vote for him based on the way he danced, I'm going to vote for him, but not on issues. This is the person that will decide my future for the next 4 years, and I vote for him based on his dance step.
I have told you that where there is poverty, issues don't count.
Or is it a matter of political parties not building on ideology?
Sure.
And they're now swaying towards issues that are mundane as against addressing key core issues?
That's part of it. Okay, let me take Edo Central as a case point in where people may not think about issues. Now, two of the 18 parties have zoned their tickets to Esan, all right? Esan land, that's Edo Central. Now, when these people are upbeat, they are expecting that the pendulum of leadership will swing their way. Is it when they're going to be listening to issues? Anyhow you do it, let our song be there. It has to be, it's our turn, because there's this Esan agenda. Esan agenda 2024.
Right.
It's been there for, it's been there for a while. Some of us who I'm from Edo North, have benefited copiously from 1999, almost getting either governor. Oshiomhole was there, Oshiomhole from my place. He spent 8 years, went Edo South. After Edo South, the governorship, deputy governorship came back, Shaibu. You understand? So my place as Edo North has benefited copiously. But you see, the Esan man, the Esan woman has been saying since 2008, why have we been distressed or why have we been denied? So if you go to Esan line, whether it's Uromi, whether it's Ubiaja, anywhere you go to, people won't listen to issues. Their own concern is that one of their son, if Providence or if the electorate decide to say, okay, they are going to be casting a vote behind for that person, whether you like it or not, head or tail, they say, okay, their son is going to be there. Now, when you now get to where another party is, where they are spread, they'll say, okay, no, since our son's name is on the ballot or their party is on the ballot, we don't listen to issues. Let him be there, either by hook or by crook. So in that situation, you may not have people that will be listening.
The electorate are a part of the problem.
They are part, even though they are aware politically. But what I'm saying first is that because it is about who, that's why this, it is my turn, it's your turn. It is what is causing this issue that you won't have people listen to issues-based campaigns. It's my son, let him be there. After all, it's our turn. It was the turn of even when you get to Edo North stands on the tripod where I come from. You have Esako. You know, I mentioned it when we began. Yeah. You have Akoko Edo. Akoko Edo are not one, they're angry. That almost every time it's the Esako man that is there. They will tell you somebody was there as the governor for 8 years. He became national party of the APC. You had Phyllis Shaibu as the deputy governor for 8 years. You are also person. So all these people, that's exactly what they are saying.
All right. Just on our screen is one of the major candidates casting his ballot there. Just reacting with regards to how the process has been for him. Get him out.
No, you don't need to move forward.
What have you done first now?
Anthony, you are blocking his face. You can't do it alone now.
Okay, the journalists there as usual. They want to hear him out.
Yeah, I think one of the party.
One of the governorship candidates there who just cast his ballot. One of the 3 top contenders for the seat of governorship, governor in the state. We'll definitely get back to hear what he has to say with regards to how the process went and what he thinks.
Exactly.
Because that is crucial.
As you could see, it seemed as if his own boat enjoyed a large turnout. which of course is a plus to him. Over there. When you look at those footage that they need to go by, and maybe by the time we earlier, we said that one. So let's also go over there if they would. His own polling unit will enjoy this kind of turnout, and as said, we have seen here.
Right. Well, we couldn't really see a full picture of the turnout of voters. It was just the press that we could see, struggling to get, his attention to hear how he felt about the process, because it looked seamless.
Yeah, it had looked seamless so far. Yes, exactly.
So it looked seamless. So want to believe that is what it will be across the state.
Of what you have over there, yes.
Hopefully, and that the rains is not disrupting anyone at the end of the day.
Exactly.
And that people are able to come out to cast their ballots, show their resilience at the end of the day. Before we went there, you were talking about...
Yes, exactly. I was talking about when people don't listen to issues.
Yes.
It's quite disheartening. We are highly educated, but there's no reflection of our education in our decisions in most time, because modern issues, pedestrian issues are usually considerations. When people are hungry in most cases, and when tied to hunger is the issue of it is my turn. Okay, so as I said...
well, isn't it the decision of the people that is still bringing back this matter of the hunger?
The people didn't cause hunger by themselves. It is the leaders.
They chose who perhaps are not taking the right decision that is perhaps forcing this
but I thought we are
hunger.
I thought we agreed in the beginning that the cause are the ones that are choosing for us now. Seemingly so, Oreshago. Over the years, elections. How about the current president we have, Tinubu? People voted and all that, but they fought the case to the Supreme Court.
Right.
And Supreme Court says, no, he is the one that is duly elected. So would you say that one now was a direct choice of the people? That's exactly what I'm saying. If you go to almost...
No, the results show.
No, the results show. That's what I'm saying. Shouldn't the result be seen to have decided, not a court telling us this is who
so the courts affirmed the decision of the people.
What I'm saying, the court should be out of the process. The court is one of the arms.
Right.
Of... okay, I think we're back again.
Yeah, we're back again, and it seems that an elderly woman there is trying to get the attention of one of the candidates there who just cast his ballot. And they are obviously praising him. These are his people, obviously.
Yes.
I'm not sure that they have allowed the media speak with him.
You can hear Isaoye. Isaoye is the way they held their own, So that's what we are hearing.
Okay, but back to what we were talking about. You were talking about the...
I wish we could get an overview of the number of persons that
were actually voted there. Yes, exactly. Yes. That would be interesting to know.
Yeah. But back to the conversation. Yes. You were talking about if it's our son, they won't listen to issue-based. But let's, chew on that issue of it's our son, our turn. Has it, even though some would say that it's good for democracy so that it goes round, the senatorial districts, but has it really benefited us as a people? If, let's say, for example, I'm from A and I say, the son from A should be, would it benefit the people of A at all? Should it be general? What are your thoughts on it?
Let me speak a little grammar here, like Bayama would say. That issue of it is our son has to be there is like a beatification of, what am I saying?
Okay, and that's Adam's Oshiomhole there at in Auchi. Obviously,
Iyamo his place.
Iyamo is his place, okay. And he is about to, of course, exercise his franchise. He's on the queue, as it is. I'm wondering why he's not been given a preferential treatment, so to speak. But then,
or maybe he decided. He
decided it's possible. Great.
So he might say, don't give me any preferential. He might say, again, politicians always look for a way where they can be applauded. He's somebody who, when he was there, he allowed people should queue up and all that. Maybe he's trying to demonstrate that.
Which I think is the right thing.
It's the right thing to do.
Absolutely.
So you don't have to be given undue advantage over because you are. Well, again, we still have to defer to them because they are our leaders.
Of course. And people might want to show respect.
Yeah, but if he chooses to say, no, leave me here, which
yeah.
of course we can also applaud that.
Absolutely.
You know? Yes.
Well, he's on the queue, waiting for his turn.
Yeah.
A number of persons there who are also waiting to exercise their franchise. I could see a number of women,
Yeah,
Charles.
exactly, that's fine.
And I'm sure this would excite you.
Well, maybe you have more women here
Yes.
coming out than the men. But again, except if we see the total number of people over there, as you said earlier, it might also give us an insight in whether we have more women here, unlike the one we saw earlier. Yes.
As against them.
Yeah, so I was talking about the beatification of mediocrity. That's what it means. Because
what do you mean by beatification?
Beatification of mediocrity is that you want. That's why I say
you
want to beautify mediocrity, whether he's qualified or not, as long as it's our son, leave him there. Whether he's going to perform or not,
affinity.
leave him there. That's exactly. You have this affinity, filial affinity, and all that. So whether he's going to conduct himself.
Let our son
just be there. It is our turn. Let him sit there. That seat, let him be there. Whether he uses it for proper benefits and all that, it doesn't concern it. That's what I'm telling you.
As long as he is our son,
as long as he is our son,
we have that satisfaction.
It will be recorded over time. When you give, maybe when you give it, if you call a family tree of leadership, 1988 to 90-something for somebody, then as you mention the leader, you mention the place he is from. That's why I call it the beatification of mediocrity.
Even though if their son did not do anything for them, as benefits, they still say,
let him be there.
Let him just be
there. Let him be there. Those are the peculiarities of our democracy.
It is not only it's everywhere. It's everywhere. I'm telling you, it's everywhere.
As a country.
As a country, yeah. Okay, it may not be our son, but it's a person of our religion. Oh, okay. Do you know that in 2020, Edo has never done this, what do you call it, a joint ticket, whether you have Muslim or Christian. Okay. No, they don't do that. If you like, bring two Muslim candidates as long as that's exactly Edo. But in 2020, they attempted to bring that narrative to Edo, which some people fought against. If you hear of Edo not be Lagos, tacitly, that's what they meant. Right. Don't bring those things that you have to say if a Christian will serve for 8 years, it has to be... No. That's exactly why they say Edo not be Lagos. It's part of what they say Edo not be Lagos. What they do is that this in Nigeria, if a Muslim had done it, let a Christian do it time. That's exactly why I said it may not be our son, but it's somebody of my faith. My faith. So that's why I'm saying they will look for whether it's mediocre or not mediocre. So far, the person is a Christian. It's a Christian's turn. Okay. So far, it's a Muslim. It's a Muslim's turn.
These connections that we seek for.
It is there.
It's a critical issue.
And that's why we are not able to insist on good governance. As long as there, he has satisfied the yearnings of my faith. As long as he has satisfied the yearnings of my people. That's exactly why you can't insist on this doing it.
You need a reorientation.
Who does the reorientation? Who listens to the reorientation? That's what I'm talking about. People see, when people have made up their mind and they have a mindset, you would okay, let me give you an example. You are talking about reorientation. Yeah. What reorientation will you give to an ASAM man now to say his person should not be on the ballot? You can't, he won't listen to you. I told you for the past...
Your idea of saying our son does not necessarily ensure good governance.
No, it doesn't. But let him be there first. If you go to a Sana, what they're saying is that, oh, thank for the very first time, out of the 3 leading parties, you have 2 of them, the tickets are ours. So if it works well, if it is heard, we are there. If it is there, we are there. So they'll be happy that the ASA agenda have been fulfilled. If it turns out that way, I'm using the word advisedly, if.
I still think maybe we need a reorientation.
And I said, who does the reorientation?
He has asked the question.
Who does and our son, good governance, you choose our son.
Who does the reorientation? You would answer that question. That's quick. All right. Quickly, we had a chat with Yaga Africa board member Ezenwanwagu at RAC Ward 12, Okpebholo Ring Road, on the assessment of logistics. Let's quickly take that video.
What we see here is anything to do by INEC is striving to up the punctuality results. the duality to the point where at least we are seeing that this place is a rack center where the core members are taking out materials with different communities, and we are hoping that in less than 45 minutes that the polls will be up and running and that we will be able to vote.
All right. Board member of Yaga Africa, who is a major observer at this election, is Nwawagu, speaking there on her logistics for INEC. There's been some level of challenges. Yes. Aside the road network and the challenges with the road that Sarah mentioned earlier on, we've still seen delays in some places that you said, and not necessarily the road network is actually good. Yes. And we're wondering what the situation is like. And we saw earlier Adams Oshiomhole on the queue waiting to exercise his franchise. And we already saw his mom having exercise her franchise, and she's hoping that the outcome at the end of the day will be someone who can address the issues the state is facing. And we have been speaking about the mindset of the people. Yes, Benga, the question was for you to answer.
Who does the orientation?
Who does the orientation?
Let's throw the question back.
I think I am supposed to also ask questions here. But really, the National Orientation Agency. Right. Some would say maybe because they are not well funded, that's why they are not taking the bull by the horn. But I think the media as well, we have a role to play when it comes to reorientating the people, when it comes to the fact that telling them, and also political parties who are supposed to also, tell the electors that, hey, listen, these are the, should I say maybe KPI, talk about these are the things for good governance instead of our son.
Okay, can I give an example? Let me leave Edo. So that you don't see.
No, I'm just doing generality.
Now let's come to Ogun State. Okay,
I'm from Ogun.
We are from Ogun State. Now Ogun State also stands on the tripod. So it seems you have the Egba, Yewa, and Jebu. Then Jebu, you have Iremo. All of them are Jebu. Good. Now there's also this cry by the Yewa that they've not been. So go and do a reorientation in Yewa and see who will listen to you. To tell Yewa, it doesn't matter. Any lecture, if it's a man that's there, so far he delivers the goods. If it's a Remo, we listen. That's I understand. You understand that? Now we are buried the argument now. You go to Yewa and say whether Yewa man will listen to you. To say, okay, let it continue forever. Sebi is good government looking for. If it's a man, they'll give you. Why not? If it's Remo man, then can't Yewa man give you?
You can't even do that in Kogi State, for instance.
Kogi State is even worse, where you have your place, you have your place, the Ibira, Okuns, and then
the Ibira, the Igalas, and the
also tripod. Now, over time, you had Igala have been dominated because they are larger.
Yeah.
But this is the very first time of Jeja below that, and the Ibirama will be there for a while, for a long time. Okuns have not been there. That's the Dinominary people. Yeah. So go and tell Dinominary that he should leave it for Igala. You are reorientating Dinominary.
All in the name of good governance.
So I think we are all on the same page now.
I understand. But looking at the demographics, okay, we saw that students and persons with disability make up a significant portion. Students making 868,764. What does that tell you?
Well, it tells you that, again, the social media is also doing a lot in reorientating them. That's why it's working. That's why it's working over there. As I said, a lot of people who clocked 18 within these 4 years, they're now eligible to vote. So most of them want to see.
Enthusiastic.
Yeah, it's like, let's go try it out. What does it mean to vote? Let me see if I can do that. Let it be part of my history. And so you find a lot of them, having that a shot at that. So that also may be the reason. They just want to be there. And then also forget that people say, okay, you can also use your voter's card to do certain things. You can use to as a document for enrollment for certain things. So that's also be identity. Could also be part of the reason why you have students are collecting this time.
The ballot, the voter's card. Now, talking about social media, leading up to the election, we saw that a letter was put out that a particular candidate has stepped aside and all of it. How much of that are you concerned with images that will be coming out of the state that could perhaps shape certain narrative about the election, the process. We have seen that happen every time we have an election, and it turned out to be fake.
Yeah.
Let's look at how fakes, some will call it deep fake, misinformation, disinformation, and all of it are shaping the mindset of people towards electoral processes.
Okay. Now, some of us who are trained as conventional media and journalists, we don't take leads from social media when it has to do with news. I run a radio station, for instance, currently, and I always tell my staff when it has to do with feeding people with information, don't take your leads from the social media because they are not regulated. They don't follow the 5 Ws and H of the news gathering we're told and dissemination and all that. They just go over there. They do not often interview people to balance whatever they see. Once they go in there, and they are also very subjective in their report. So that's why one has to be very careful. A lot of people will send me certain things. Oh, I saw it on social media. I said, but do you know, I didn't even look at that. Some
call themselves citizen journalists.
Well, no, as I said, some of us who are trained as conventional journalists.
Okay.
Yeah. I belong to the school of that old school journalist. We know exactly the training we receive and what we must do, what we must not do. These people who just finished school, they study mass communication and just came in and the newsroom, they find their way to the newsroom. They may not know that except they are giving training and retraining, which is what I do at my station over there. So if you don't do that, you might find them also progressing in error, taking their leads from social media. We are supposed to be the people teaching social media how to do it. Yeah, I do know that social media is faster now in terms of it, like a 2-minute 13. Immediately you know it's real time. Which of course we have to look at. We have to first of all sieve it. When as an editor you bring news to me, I will sieve it and all that. But they don't do that. They just but again, be very, very
right.
Yes,
exactly. Take this where one of the leading candidates is about to respond or is responding already to the process of the election.
You have done nothing. So it's like just go there and vote. That is how it is right now. I believe the way it is, it should be like that everywhere. It's okay here. I don't know others. But what I'm seeing here is like a testimony that INEC is getting it right.
Okay, have you got any feedback from other polling units, other areas in
so far this morning?
So far, so good this morning.
Well, a couple of friends are calling me to say I'm getting a lot of votes from different places. But I'm not there. I'm here. Here I know that PDP or whatever will not get one vote here because this is my home and my people love me. So for that reason, I have nothing to fear in my home.
There were concerns about security generally. I know you've been in Benin for the last few days. You have also come here. What is your impression on security deployment for the election?
Yeah, I know that everything they are saying about security, this, that is hyping. I know nothing is happening. You can see. Nobody is fighting. No knockout even. No a stick of matches. So it's just for people to scare people away from voting. That, Obaseki is, I don't know. His wisdom, I don't know. He wanted to cause fire in Edo State. I invariably cause fire in Nigeria. I think it's perfect. Everything will be okay. By the grace of God, everything is moving perfectly.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
All right, that is Monday Okpebholo, who cast his ballot at Owesan Urua, talking about the process there, which he said commended and said that obviously INEC has improved upon its processes over time because it was a smooth one for him, from what he said. And he also talked about not having any fear because it's his home. So
and he also said something I also like, that he couldn't say of other areas.
Yes, but he can speak about where he is because that is where he is, and so he cannot talk about.
So it's only when we see pictures from other areas we would think, we would know whether what is enjoying there, the peace, the calm, the serenity, and the equanimity.
When it's across the board.
Exactly.
But perhaps you want to respond to some other things.
Yes, he said so. But again, politicians will always look for. If you give a politician a microphone, he will he will say a lot of things. As you saw him now, he's already castigating the other opponents and also boasting that the other party will not have one vote and all that. I'm sure if you also go to the other party, they will say, oh, don't worry.
Exactly. This is my home.
This is my home. Can't get a single vote over there. You know, we're going to win. We already won in day. That's exactly what they always do. That's why I'm telling you that. That's why you always have politicians contesting these votes. Because to them, they are the best to happen to the people. So if the pendulum swings the other way, they think they have been shortchanged, and then they go berserk in the manner of speaking, and then they are going to the court of a court to now give them the victory they think they have lost.
Okay,
during the process.
You're from Edo State,
yes.
And let's address the issue of voter apathy.
Yeah.
Now, for persons who are actually watching you right now, what do you say to people who just like, let me just stay home, I'm not interested in going out to vote.
Watch what they are doing on TV.
Let me just watch TVC and. But what do you say to them?
But to those people, I would tell them that their destiny is also tied to good governance. What I mean destiny, I'm using that word loosely, because if you are going to get the best of things for yourself, for your children, schools, and all that, you must be part of the process that will bring leaders that will ensure that you get those things. If you want a better, quality education. Leaders that will ensure that. So if you don't put leaders that will ensure quality education, your children can't get good education. If you want to have good roads to travel on and all that, or travel by element, then if you don't get good governance and putting people there. So if you just sit down and you are pathetic to say, let them go and do it, then you have no cause to complain when you are not getting the dividends of democracy, they call it, or the deliverables. So you must be part of the process. If you are there, you know you have voted your conscience, you have voted, you've done it right, then you can have cause to say, okay, this person is not doing it right. Though I didn't vote for those, I voted for him, but this is not what I expected him to do or her to do when I voted. But if you are there, you have no cause to complain if it's not going right at all, because you should change the system. If you had voted, you would have added to the voices of those people who chose the leaders.
I agree, because this is someone that will decide your next 4 years.
One vote is very, very important.
Exactly.
Particularly when we have this, what they call the first past the post system of election, okay? Not using electoral college. Veronica scored 100 votes. I scored 102 votes. That's first past the post. I breasted the tape before you.
Yeah.
So I'm declared the winner. You understand? That one vote is very important. So if that man or that woman will say that Verona gets 100 votes, I get maybe 2 people, I get 100. Or if you are wanting to vote for me, Veronica get 100 because 5 people didn't come, I get lower. So you can't. So you caused my defeat. So that's what people don't know. If you have your conscience, I'm voting conscience according to this, then you don't just sit down, let your conscience die with you. You must match your conscience with your action. The action is to go over there and vote and thumbprint so that you can actually give victory to that person.
What do you think then that we are missing out in this matter of voter education and awareness creation? Because there are so many non-governmental organizations that carry out this issue of educating voters, carry out creating awareness. They go the whole hog.
Yes.
Yet we are still seeing these kinds of reactions from the electorate. What are we missing?
What we are missing is good governance. When somebody votes, you vote in someone expecting that there will be deliverables. 1 year gone, nothing.
So invariably, before you continue, you're saying that education is not the issue.
People have been educated, they are highly educated politically. They know that the power is to vote. But does their vote give them the power? You understand? It's okay, they want to cause a change. Maybe the person who is there is not doing well. Let them cause a change. The power they think they want to cause a change, is that vote gives them the power? That's number one. Number two.
Okay, that now comes to the issue of the process. Does their vote count?
Exactly. Does their vote count? Or does his vote count? Apart from that, when the people the government have been inaugurated, okay, are they getting better life? So we say, okay, I voted last time, but what did he give me? Gary is still like this, rice is still like this, and all that. But if you have voted in a government and the government have been inaugurated, and you see all of a sudden, not all of a sudden per se, over time, you see the tumbling of prices, in the market and all that, then you can say, oh, let's do it next time. In that case, the issue of vote buying will be reduced, because you say, okay, once we change, if somebody wasn't right, if leader wasn't right, and you were able to vote the person out, and you put the person that you think like, and you're delivering goods, so you see tumbling down of food prices, they'll be happy.
But in 2023, we saw that a lot of changes happened with regards to this matter of voting.
Yes, because people were expecting. I know why. There was a consensus, not all over Nigeria, that the government of the day then wasn't really good to them. So somebody was coming to say it was going to change narrative. Okay. Yeah, we suffer for 8 years. Let's change this guy. Like 2015, for instance, you see, PDP was in power for 16 years. Then APC and other, the amalgamation. Please, one of the parties that were there for 16 years came. It was the people said, okay, we're going to have a change. You now have this issue of change mantra of one of the parties and all that. People were expectations were very high. They said petrol was going to be 87 naira from just. So it galvanized the people to vote. So when you make those promises and you carry it out, you don't need any education for people to queue behind you or queue behind the process. It is the government. When you give good governance, by default, you are educating the people that they have the power behind the ballot. That's the way it goes.
Well, I agree with you. I totally.
You seem to be agreeing with me.
I agree with you. Before you told me,
you seem to be agreeing with me.